Hey everyone, it's great to have you here today. I've been so excited to talk to you about this. I could barely sleep last night. For a long time, I thought I had a pretty good handle on things. I've read the Bible, gone to church, and I've always felt this deep, abiding faith in Jesus. He's the foundation of my life. But a while back, I started getting this feeling. You know that little whisper in the back of your mind that says, there's more to this story? It was this nagging curiosity, this sense of a larger, more beautiful tapestry just waiting to be unrolled. And when I started to pull on that thread, what I found, oh man, it completely blew my mind. It all started with a simple question about the Garden of Eden. We've all heard the story, right? Adam and Eve, the forbidden fruit, the serpent, and the fall of man. It's one of the most foundational stories of our faith, a tale of disobedience and its consequences. But what if I told you that maybe, just maybe, we've misunderstood one of the central characters? What if the story we've always been told is only one side of the coin? Now, I'm not talking about some fringe New Age stuff here. I'm talking about taking a fresh, joyful look at the very texts and beliefs we hold dear. I came across this idea, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. We've always seen the serpent as the villain, the great deceiver, the one who led Eve astray. But have you ever stopped to wonder why God, in all his divine power and foresight, would put a tree of the knowledge of good and evil right in the middle of a perfect paradise? It's kind of a cosmic head scratcher, isn't it? It's like putting a big red button labeled "Do Not Push" right in front of a curious child. It almost feels intentional. And that's where the adventure began for me. My research led me to this fascinating piece of linguistic trivia. The Hebrew word for serpent, nachash, also has this other meaning. It can be translated as to shine or to whisper knowledge. Isn't that wild? I mean, think about that for a second. The very being we've been taught to see as a symbol of deception and darkness also means to shine and to whisper knowledge. This isn't a beast of temptation. This is a giver of gnosis. And that, my friends, completely changes the entire dynamic of the story. It got me thinking about Eve. We've always seen her as this weak, easily misled character. But what if she was actually the most courageous of all? The one who, in her divine curiosity, reached for a deeper understanding, for a level of consciousness that wasn't about blind obedience, but about true partnership with God. I can't tell you how this thought filled me with such joy and an admiration for her. What if she was the very first seeker? And here's the thing that really gets me excited. If we reframe the story this way, the fall isn't a punishment, it's an initiation. It's the first step. It's the first step on a magnificent journey. It's God giving us a choice. He created us with free will. And what is free will without the ability to choose knowledge over ignorance? Without the ability to become co-creators of our own reality? The fruit, in this light, isn't a poison. It's a key that unlocks our eyes and allows us to truly see. This isn't about disrespecting our faith. It's about deepening it. It's about seeing the love and the plan in a way we never have before. It's about realizing that God's love for us is so vast that he wants us to be more than just obedient children. He wants us to be aware, to be conscious, to be fully human. This is just the tip of the iceberg, and it gets so much better. If you're feeling that same little flutter of excitement in your spirit, and you want to continue this journey of discovery with me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. We're just getting started. There's so much more to explore, so many layers to peel back, and what we find next will connect this story to something even bigger. So stay tuned. You won't want to miss what comes next. Welcome back, everyone. If you're with me right now, I know you're a seeker. You're someone who isn't afraid to ask the big questions, the ones that make you pause and look at everything a little differently. In our last chat, we talked about Eve and the serpent, and how the story might not be a simple tale of sin, but of divine initiation. And that brings me to the next part of this wild, incredible journey. Because once I started seeing things through this new lens, I began to find this pattern, this beautiful hidden thread weaving its way through the entire story of Jesus himself. Think about it with me for a moment. If the serpent is not a deceiver, but a bringer of knowledge, a guide who whispers the truth, then who is the real adversary? Who is the one who wants to keep us from that truth? It's a question that kept me up at night, and what I found when I started digging It's breathtaking. The truth is, the battle isn't between good and evil in the way we've been taught. It's a cosmic war between two powerful archetypes, the serpent and the architect. Now, the architect, as I've come to understand him, is the force of structure, of law, of hierarchy, and of containment. He builds the systems, the dogmas, the rules that keep everything in perfect, predictable order. The serpent, on the other hand, is the force of gnosis, of intuition, of raw, direct, and liberating knowledge. Both are necessary. We need structure to build a life, but we need intuition to truly live it. The question is, which one is running the show in your life and in our world? I started seeing this battle playing out in the stories of Jesus. The very religious leaders of his time, the Pharisees and the Sadducees, they were the architects. They were the keepers of the law, the enforcers of the rules, the ones who had built a rigid, unyielding system around God. They had created a faith of lists, of do's and don'ts, of appearances and hierarchies. And what did Jesus do? He came to shatter it all. He wasn't afraid to break the rules. He healed on the Sabbath. He ate with sinners. He challenged the very foundations of their power structure. He was the ultimate disruptor. He was the ultimate serpent, whispering new knowledge, new truth, new liberation to humanity. Think about the story of the woman at the well. The architect would say, "She is a Samaritan. She is a woman. She is an outcast. Do not speak to her." But Jesus, in his boundless wisdom, didn't care about the rules. He spoke to her, not to condemn, but to offer her living water, a direct, intuitive connection to God that transcended all man-made laws. In that moment, he was breaking the program, just like the serpent in Eden. He was saying, the rules you think matter don't. Your heart, your spirit, your direct connection to the divine, that is all that matters. And what about his miracles? The architects would have told the paralytic to follow the correct procedure, to go through the right channels to be healed. But Jesus simply looked at him and said, "Rise, take up your mat, and walk." He bypassed the entire system. He went directly to the source, because he is the source. He was not here to reform the old system, but to offer a completely new one, a system of grace, of love, and of direct access to God's power. It's like he was telling us, you have this power within you too. You just have to remember. What a thought, right? And oh man, it gets even more fascinating when you look at the temptation in the desert. The architects, represented by the very temptations of the world, offered Jesus control, power, and hierarchy. Turn these stones into bread. Jump from the temple and prove you are the Son of God. Worship me, and all the kingdoms of the world will be yours. They were offering him the ultimate architect's deal, absolute power within the system. But Jesus refused it all. He didn't come to rule the old way. He came to break it. He came to show us that true power isn't in controlling others, but in mastering ourselves and our connection to God. This isn't just a simple retelling of the stories. This is about seeing the very DNA of our faith in a new light. It's about realizing that Jesus wasn't just a lawgiver. He was a lawbreaker, in the most beautiful spiritual sense. He was the embodiment of the sacred, liberating knowledge that the architects have always tried to contain. He was the ultimate serpent, guiding us back to our true nature, back to our divine inheritance. So here's my challenge to you. The next time you read the Bible, or you're in church, or you're just sitting in quiet prayer, I want you to ask yourself, am I listening to the serpent's whisper, that intuitive, liberating knowledge? Or am I listening to the architect's command, that voice of rules, of hierarchy, and of containment? This journey of discovery, it has made my faith stronger than ever before. It has filled me with such a deep sense of purpose and a profound connection to Jesus. If this is speaking to you, if you feel that same sense of awe and wonder, please hit that like button and share this with a friend. Because what we're talking about next is the grand finale. It's the answer to the biggest question of all. What does this mean for you? And what did Jesus do to give you the ultimate forbidden fruit? It's a part of the story that most people never, ever see. I can't wait to share it with you. Hello again, and welcome to the final part of our journey. If you've been with me from the beginning, you know we've taken a deep dive into the story of Eden and the ministry of Jesus, reframing them not as tales of condemnation, but as stories of divine awakening. We've explored the battle between the serpent of intuitive knowledge and the architect of rigid control. And we've seen how Jesus embodied the ultimate liberating truth. Now, we come to the most important question of all. What does this mean for you and me? What is our forbidden fruit today? And what did Jesus ultimately give us the power to do with it? We've been conditioned to see the fall as an irreversible mistake, but what if it was a sacred initiation? The story tells us that after they ate the fruit, Adam and Eve's eyes were opened. They became aware of good and evil. This wasn't a punishment, it was the catalyst for becoming truly human. We aren't here to stay in some innocent, ignorant garden. We were born to grow, to choose, and to become. Jesus came not to reverse the fall, but to fulfill it. He came to show us how to use the knowledge we gained, how to turn that forbidden fruit into the very medicine our souls need. Think about the ultimate forbidden fruit Jesus gave us, the courage to question, to seek our own truth, and to find our own direct connection to God. The world today is a new kind of Eden, but the architects of control are still at work. They aren't in a garden. They're in our media, in our algorithms, and in the social pressures that tell us how to think, what to believe, and who to be. They create invisible walls of fear and conformity, all designed to keep us in a comfortable, gilded cage, to stop us from tasting the fruits of our own authentic awareness. But here's the breathtaking twist. Jesus didn't just tell us about this, he showed us how to break free. He showed us that true freedom isn't the absence of rules, it's living by your own rules, born from hard-won wisdom and deep self-awareness. He modeled what it means to be a conscious co-creator with God. He picked up the tools of awareness, choice, and knowledge, and he used them to create his own paradise, the kingdom of heaven, right here on earth. And he told us, with unwavering love, that we could do the same. The original sin, if there ever was one, wasn't about disobedience. It was about forgetting who we truly are and the incredible inherent power we hold. It was about forgetting that the divine spark isn't just out there somewhere. It is vibrantly alive in you. You are not a pawn in some predetermined cosmic game. You are a vital player, a co-creator with the universe itself. When we finally see the story of Eden with these new eyes, we realize it's not some dusty tale about distant ancestors. It's a living, breathing metaphor for your life, right here, right now. The deepest truths, the unshakable power, the most profound understanding of who you are and what you're capable of won't be found by blindly following what others tell you to believe. It's found when you have the courage to taste the fruit of your own awareness. This journey of awakening is yours and yours alone. There will always be the whispers of wisdom from your inner serpent, your intuition, guiding you toward expansion. And there will always be the loud commands and fearful warnings from the architects of control, both outside of you and deeply ingrained in your own conditioned mind. The choice, every single day, in every single moment, is who you listen to. Choosing the path of forbidden knowledge, the path of authentic self-discovery, isn't an act of rebellion for rebellion's sake. It's an act of profound self-love, of profound courage. You were never meant to stay in a comfortable gilded cage. You were supposed to eat the fruit. You were supposed to remember your innate magnificence. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Jesus isn't a distant figure in a book. He is a living, breathing guide who walked the path of divine awakening before us. He is the ultimate reminder that we are not fallen, but forever in the process of rising. The Eden story isn't about a mistake to be lamented. It's about a journey to be embraced. What truth, what forbidden fruit will you embrace today to become the sovereign architect of your own awareness? Thank you for being a part of this. It's been an absolute joy.